Okay, we're at our last example for this lesson. We have the main idea. We know how to find the domain. We know what makes the denominator 0 will make the function undefined. We've just been practicing a lot of factoring and canceling when we are simplifying rational expressions. This very last problem is a little bit different because there's a little trick that you need to do sometimes when your two terms are similar but kind of in the wrong order. If you have a binomial of this form, something minus something, like a minus b, what you can do is factor out a negative. That will have the effect of changing the signs and allowing you to change the order. So there's an example already on your notes here. Here's the example. So if you have 5 minus 2x, and you really want to just rewrite it as 2x minus 5, you can't just do that. With subtraction, we have to be careful about changing the order. 5 minus 2 is not the same as 2 minus 5, right? Those are two different things. Same thing with 5 minus 2x and 2x minus 5, two different things. But what you can do, if you really do want to change the order to make your problem easier, you can factor out a -1. So if I divide each of these terms by -1, the signs change, right? 5 divided by -1 is -5. -2x divided by -1 is +2x. So right here in the middle, it doesn't look any better. Maybe it looks worse. -1 parentheses, -5 plus 2x. But now what we get to do is now we can rearrange. The 2x is positive. We can put that first. And then the -5 can become a -5 written right after it. So our expression can be rewritten with the terms rearranged, just with a -1 that we factored out. Okay, who cares? Why would we need to do this? Well, see below, here's an example where you might want to do this. So if we factor in this problem 8a minus 6 over 3 minus 4a, I mean, right away, doesn't that 3 minus 4a look backwards, right? Don't you want to rearrange it? That's what we're going to be doing. Let's start with the numerator. The 8a minus 6, we can factor out a 2. Nothing special there, just factor out a 2, and we get 4a minus 3. So in the denominator, if you just leave it as 3 minus 4a, you're not going to be able to cancel anything out. There will be no common factors for us to cross out. So here's the trick. With the 3 minus 4a, first of all, those two terms don't have any common factors other than 1. Or -1 in this case. So there's really no other factoring we can do. We can factor out a -1. Here's what that would look like. Oop, I lost my mouse. Okay. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to factor out a -1. And I'm going to maybe write it in one less step than what we saw right above. I'm thinking if that's a good idea. I'll do it in 2 steps. Let's see if you can follow. So when I factor out a -1, the 3 becomes a -3. The -4a becomes a +4a. Now it looks worse, not better. But now we can actually switch the order like we wanted. So watch this. So the -1 is still there. The +4a can be written first now. And the -3 can be written second. If we switched it earlier, it would have been -4a plus 3. That wouldn't have helped either. They needed to be the same sign so that the factor in parentheses was exactly the same. So now we have 2 times 4a minus 3 over -1 times 4a minus 3. So now we can cancel out the 4a minus 3. Our final answer, 2 over -1, really becomes just -2 for the very final answer. So we're taking 2 over -1. And then we're canceling. Okay, so that's all we got here. My computer's low battery, so this is a great time to stop. And we're done with lesson 39. And next time we're together, we will do a little review, and then we'll move on to lesson 40. And you know how to reach me if you have any questions. Otherwise, good job, and I'll see you in class. Thanks.